Hi YouTube, Jason from Envious Customs here. Today I'm going to be showing a review of Advanced Engine Diagnostics, a new ALDL software that I've developed. I've had an alpha review that I've showed you before on a V6 ECU while in car and running. Today I'm going to be showing you on a V6 ECU on the bench setup. So this will give us a whole bunch of fault codes and freeze data that I can clear and show you bits and pieces about this application. This program, AED, Advanced Engine Diagnostics, is only available for free with our ALDL cable purchases from our website, www.enviouscustoms.com. It doesn't come with any other package, or you can buy the software separately if you already have a cable. So let's go ahead and click connect. There we go, I'm connected to the ECU. So let's go have a look at details. So as you can see here, we've got the VU, VX, VY. This is module details for those vehicles. It won't work on anything else. As you can see, it's grayed out and you can't click on it. But we can see here the VIN, data identifier, bits and pieces about it. It lets you know if it's the original ECU or not, and when it was last programmed, and stuff like that. It's just a little bit of interesting information. But let's go have a look at fault codes for this current ECU. So as you can see here, I have 7 fault codes currently. Now we have the fault code number, the type being current, and their definitions. So as you can see, it's a whole bunch of bits of these. So intake air temperature signal is high, the anti-theft signal not received, because it's all on the bench, so it's not getting over this information from the BCM and other vital modules in the car. So let's just go ahead and clear it. So I'd expect not for all the codes to disappear, because they'll come back. So make sure to follow the prompts, and please ensure the ignition is on. So I do have power to this. The engine off, yep, so press OK. There we go, it's on. Now turn ignition off and then back on. I don't quite need to do that, so let's just go ahead and read again. So now I only have 5. The other 2 have disappeared, so the VATS signal, it's not showing that, but I bet you if I read again, it'll show the VATS again. Well, there we go, 6. So ECU is slowly figuring out that it's missing bits and pieces, and the fault codes are slowly coming back. So as you can see, fault codes do come back eventually if there is a current issue, and you can't just clear them. So if you had a MAF sensor fault and you replace the MAF and the fault's still there, if you go ahead and clear it, it may disappear, but if it's still an issue, the fault will come back eventually. There we go, and now the anti-theft signal has come back. So that was after clearing. Most of them disappeared. Some came back immediately because they're quite quick to be checked, and others took a little bit longer for the ECU to check it again. But if you get intermittent faults, it might not show up as the current fault straight away, so you can go ahead and check out freeze data. So let's go ahead and read. And so freeze data is the faults and also information about that fault, and it saves it into the ECU and allows us to check what was actually happening at that point in time. So I have a communication error here, TPS voltage was low, MAT signal low, transmission temperature low. Gives me a whole bunch of information about the faults when they occurred, including number of occurrences, ignition cycles, the throttle position at the time, MAF, reference voltage, and each history fault code may have slightly different information it displays. As you can see, it sometimes changes between them. This is what makes it so unique, and FU Live and Tuner Pro can't do this. They don't have this feature. It's a little bit complex in how it's done, but it's great for diagnosing intermittent issues. So if your engine light goes off while driving, but then goes on while driving and then turns back off before you get home to plug in, this will allow you to see what actually happened and what the fault code was. So let's now have a look at some engine data. So let's click read. There we go. So we can see engine data, so how long I've been logging it for, so 5 seconds now. You can see my battery voltage 12.2, vehicle speed, MAF, engine coolant. So let's just go ahead and change some of this. All these gauges can be changed to whatever they want. So let's make this one also battery voltage. There you go, 12. And let's make this one also battery voltage. There you go. It's battery voltage I can easily change right now. So as we can see, it's about 12.2. So I'm just going to go ahead and change it slightly. As you can see, I can change it, and it updates on the gauges straight away. We can see how many engine data we're reading per second, so we're getting 11 bits of data per second. So all this updates also all the engine data displays in here. And this is all engine only data, engine only flags, so on off sort of type switches, transmission data, transmission flags, and then we also have the graphing. And graphing, this is my favorite feature of this, and it allows us to change. As you can see, I just expanded it so we get a big graph. I can change anything around. So let's go to battery voltage. So now I'm just going to quickly change the battery voltage again. As you can see, it updates with the battery voltage as we go along, and we can see it live on the data points as it changes and when I was moving it up and down. And you can change any of these lines. So I have engine coolant temperature, vehicle speed, and battery voltage. Each line can be changed to something else, or transmission data, whatever you want to put it to. And it keeps updating straight away and shows you all the information that is occurring. So now I'm just going to go ahead and stop. There we go, my session is now finished. As it says here, your engine reading session can be saved by clicking the save button, so up here. So if I wanted to save it, I can click save. Just wait for it to load, and then I can save it as a file. But I'm just going to go ahead and load up an old log that I've done. So let's just go open, and I'm going to do the log file to LPG for my V6. So I've just loaded that up. As you can see, everything's sort of changed. It opens up the parameters that I was watching while I was driving, so engine RPM, vehicle speed, and coolant temperature. So if I go ahead and press play, the data will start replaying back from what exactly I had at that time. And it also shows back up on these parameters as well. And you can change them all around while that it's replaying. Showing any data. It also shows up in all of here. Engine flags, transmission, and graph. I find the graphing is always the best one to be looking through. And you can also change these lines to whatever you want as well. But I can fast forward. And you can see all the data points. So just keep going, fast forward. There we go. I can then also pause. When I'm paused, I can check out all the data points and the values as we go along. I've got a scroll bar down at the bottom here. I can keep going back and I can check out all the data points as I'm going along. So say if I'm going to see here what's going on. So I've got my RPM goes up and down a bit as I'm increasing and slowing down and changing gears. And you can go all the way back to the first point in time. When logging, when you're going from where it's replaying, so let's press play. It shows you the last 30 seconds of while logging. So 30 seconds is generally quite enough to see. This is when you're live logging and also replaying the data. But if you want to check out back at the beginning again, just rewind back and you can see again where you are. All this data, as I said before, replays live on here. And when you're finished and you're done, you can just press stop and that's your session done. And you can go back to reading from your vehicle again. You also have the little things as raw logging, which is only really suitable for VX and VT up to VY, and also the console log, which just shows you what was happening and if you ever got any fault codes. And about shows you the product version. So this is version 0.0.6, and if you have a newer version, you might have new features in here. But for now, this is Advanced Engine Diagnostics. If you have any questions, and comment below or send me an email, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.